All right. Well, welcome to Writer's Checkup. I am so excited to have this video be a reliable resource for you. Unless any of the information changes, it is what it is. And so we want to definitely make sure we stay abreast of all information as far as how current it is and um, how in it is. And so it's very important that we research alongside of researchers so that we can stay abreast the latest. All righty, so let's get started. So definitely wanted to go over some things and have this video posted so that people can return to it and listen to it as a playback. And so welcome. All righty, so I want to go over with you we could start actually where my screen is, which I'm in my YouTube channel. I want to go over our purpose and what we have set up, because a lot of people don't even know what Destiny and Writing or Writing Workshop has for them outside of the actual live Zooms and the live workshop. So definitely want to go into that because you will, I think, be very grateful for what we have set up for you. All righty. So Destiny in Writing is actually underneath and sponsored by Empowerment Community Development Corporation out of Tyler. And so I'm the program director, Felicia Lee. And so in designing this program, I definitely was inspired to design it for those who are endeavoring on an authorship journey. And with that, I wanted to create an environment where you can basically shop. Shop for information, shop for what you need, because anytime you're having to search for something, you're using time. So you're actually buying it. You're automatically buying something because you're investing with your time. You're investing with your heart energy. You're investing, just by shutting things down to focus on something. And so, so all things destiny. Okay, and so because you have a destination, you have a direction that you're trying to endeavor in. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that we have collected some things for you, gathered some things for you so that you can have some shortcuts and some things to kind of get your feet wet. So if you're starting at the beginning or wherever you're starting at, you can dive into some things without feeling overwhelmed and feeling as though you just don't know where to start. And when people say, where do I start? The best thing I say, or the best thing advice I can give you is just start. Do something. And so so we have a YouTube channel, and that's where we're looking at now. We're going to upload this video. And it's called Destiny in Writing Workshop. So that's why I'm pulling it up so that you can see it. So you know you're on the right page. Here's the logo. And so that right there is something. Please hit subscribe and follow it so that way you can get information as we upload it as well. Okay, and so the next thing I wanted to show you is our PayHip. So this is a free resource. And I'll give you the website in the presentation in just a second, but I wanted to show you what you'd be looking at when you go to the site. And so we have basically the information that we started off with in the beginning. We had phase 1, 2, and 3 for the year of 2020. And with that, from phase 1 on, we had already uploaded, when I say we, I mean a group of people who work behind the scenes to make this happen. We had already uploaded some files and resources to give you basically what we already have gathered for you so that you won't have to start necessarily from scratch. Or you can have this as an additional to what you're finding out, because everybody has a different author path, okay? And so like right here, you have standards of parts of a book, which is one of the steps I want to go over today, because this is a recap of phase 1 through 3. You have a writer's checklist. So all this stuff is on here so that you might not get lost. So if you want to know what to do next, we have downloads free of charge. Totally, if it says free, free of charge, so that you might be able to, do I need to get my annotator? So free of charge, yay. So that you might have access to some things without starting from scratch. All righty, so let's go to the next thing. So we got, and that's PayHip, and I'm gonna show you that here in just a second. So let's go ahead and present this. Okay, so we had phase 1 through 3. This is the phase 3 workshop that we just finished up in September. And so I'm gonna fast forward our sponsor. All righty, and so here's the information here. Okay, so we have a free 20-page journal note stationery sheet set. So one of the resources, if you wanted to print it out, it's just a way to, you know, maybe say you don't have a journal, what have you, because you do want to set aside a binder or some type of notebook for your journey, where you can always go to that one notebook and gather your things and have somewhere to place all of them while you're on this journey. And so we have a free 20-page journal note stationery sheet set that's on that website, which is right here, payhip.com Destiny Shops. Okay. Maybe that went back too fast. And so you can also download all these resources, even the standard page order of a book, title page, contents, copyright page, all that's on there. And I'm going to go over that in this video. And so you can also stay connected by liking and following us on Destiny Workshop. That's our Facebook page, public Facebook. Here's just a snippet of the journal. One of the journal note sheets, which I also included, look at this, a book timeline. So this basically has promptings and has questions so that you can also stay with the course, especially if you're endeavoring in self-publishing. Okay, but we cater to both paths. So just like in phase 3, we had traditional and self-published authors on that workshop, that live workshop. All righty. So just a question right here, number 3, do I have time to realistically commit to the task? And what does that look like? Am I willing to make the time? So this is like a heart shop stop. We do deal with the heart. We do deal with where you are in life. We deal with every aspect of the journey, not just the writing part, not just the publishing part, not just the research part. We also deal with where is your heart and where is your commitment, and assisting you with that process as well, because you can't endeavor on any great undertaking without assessing where you are personally, where you are in your heart, where you are in your commitment. And so we definitely have included that as a part of the journey. It will always be included, and we will always talk about it. All righty, and so here's another sheet that you will also find where we basically just kind of started introducing the process of writing. In phase 1, we really talked about the process of writing because so many get caught up in the grammar and get caught up in whether or not they know English properly. And that is never the mindset you want to have. You always want to just write, because you can, and you want to, know your weaknesses. So as long as you know your weaknesses, there's always someone who can assist you with that. So you never get caught up on the grammar. You never worry about any of that. All you do is make sure you write to the best of your ability, and then you get someone, you pay someone to edit it. So grammar is not going to be an issue. Okay. And so brainstorming, book idea, genre. So these are some of the things that go on in the process of writing the book and the overall research. And these are things that you reflect on. This is not something that, you want to get overwhelmed by and just say, okay, I have to have an answer today. No, these are things to be aware of before or as you are writing your manuscript. And so I suggest you definitely look over the process of writing and over these things actually before you really get deep off into your book, if you haven't already. And why is because depending on what you're trying to accomplish with it, you want a quality work. You want a quality work. And that's the best way for me to say it. Because quality is going to make the experience for the reader an at ease experience, because you have already put the work in the behind the scenes and making sure that something is totally prepared. And I'll give you an example. So if you go to, say for instance, you purchase a hotel for the night or 2 nights or for the week. If you go into that hotel room and the bed springs and the headboard and the bed is not put together, the mattress is not, the sheets are not on, the refrigerator is there but it's not plugged up, there's a need to have certain things in certain places and spaces and operative. And so it is the same with the book. You want to have a certain layout because it makes it ease, so that when they come in, they can just go into the book. When they come into the hotel room, they can just go in and begin to use the hotel room. And so not have to basically put the thing down or go and complain and say, I needed a real room. All righty. So don't want to spend too much time. This is also included. I want to go over that in just a second, where you can actually go step by step. Genre. So you want to know what genre your book is in, because when you begin to publish your work, you're going to need to know keywords. And that's part of what your binder is going to be about. You want to have a binder or some type of set apart book, notebook, binder, something to where you keep all your things in, because you're going to always need to reference and re-reference it. And so your binder is you want to notate the things that you have learned and the things that you're going to need and the things that you have decided. That's why you want to have your binder and your note-taking tools for this process. I call it a boutique. You always need your own personal boutique. What do I need for my journey? Pen, paper, a person, the Destiny workshops, the attending the lives. I need the calendar for when they're going to have their Zooms, etc. You need your own boutique for your journey. You need your tools for your journey. And you would do yourself well to know what these things are. And so I love to advise people to write them down. And that way, if they get lost, they can always go back to the blueprint, and it produces a blueprint for you in your journey. So what type of genre or book is it? Is it self-help? And these are just examples. Look at this. My annotation. Self-help, informational books. So I love this because it really helps you to understand that there's not one type of book or just 5 types. When you look at genres, there's a lot. And your genre for your work could be a mix. And so you want to make sure you know the genre, because when you begin to sell it, people are going to be looking for it first in that genre and then through keywords. And so that's another thing. So under your genre, you want to begin to understand what keywords make up your book, make up your work. Is it spirituality? Is it self-help? Is it healing? And so then if, say, for instance, it's healing, then you would need 3, 4 more keywords and go from, how do I say, most recognizable to least, but relative. Definitely relative. And then you can also, if you have a someone whose work has gone out before you that's similar to yours or kind of in line with, go look at their keywords. Go look at the keywords that they use or meditate on those things and reflect. And then when they come to you, write them down. So say, for instance, you had healing as healing as a keyword. And so say, for instance, you were writing a memoir, because memoir has to do with a person talking about something that they learned or that they went through. And then the outcome of that, the results of that. And so say, for instance, they had a healing journey. So healing is what kind of healing you're talking about. And so, you would want to have those main keywords, those main top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can have as many as you want, but you want to make sure that the top recognizable ones, the ones that are most, I guess you could say, trendy or directly relating to who this book is for, is what you want to make sure is in the top, even if you have others underneath it. And so I could be talking about healing, and I could be talking about the soul, or I can be talking about healing, and I could be talking about a diabetic journey. I could be talking about healing of marriage. I could be talking about healing after divorce. I could be talking about healing after losing a child. So you want to make sure that you direct them through, and even in the keyword process, but the start of it is the genre. Okay. So we have other types: autobiography, legends, dramas. We have Christian fiction. We have historical, sci-fi. There's so many. Okay, and so we definitely care about your process, as you can see. So we went over that already. All righty, and so we're gonna go into, let's see. I think there's another part of this. Okay, freebies. Here's the main big, in big, bold, however you want to say it, website. And so, did I take you there? Let's see. All right, I did. Okay, so we did go there. I did show you the YouTube channel. I did show you Destiny Shops, Payhip, through Payhip, where you get these. All righty, so let's go into, this is one of the topics, the steps I wanted to definitely hit. And then I want to show you the steps. Okay, so one of the things that's that you want to, well, there's a few things. Online presence, and you want to know the pros and cons of both self-publishing and traditional publishing. So you want to write that down, because these are things you want to research, because your path, when you start researching those things, especially pros and cons, it really narrows down so that you can really make the choice that you need to make. You may do self-publishing first, or you may do traditional publishing first. Then you may decide on your second or your third book, or another book later on, or another type of work, or another project work that you may be involved in with someone else, because a lot of people do collaborative works where they co-author and they work together on one book. And so whatever that situation is, it helps you to become familiar with the industry, in a sense, and with what's going on both paths. Okay, because those are the two main ones, self-publishing and traditional. So research, though, the pros and the cons, because I love how it just narrows it down. It tells you this is what this is what that is, this is what you would get out of this one, where you won't get this. And so it's really good to just put it together for you. And then the third thing, so we talked about pros and cons, online presence, and the ISBN. Okay, so here's the ISBN. You can go to Google and put 10 things you need to know about the ISBN. And I'm just going to read over the captions here. What is an ISBN? So it's going to tell you the information that you need to know about an ISBN, because every author needs to know about this particular topic. Let me see. I guess it can sit there. The little scribble I made. Is an ISBN necessary? Does a book title have a constant IBN? And right here, I'm going to definitely just read this one. No, each version, whether it's an ebook, hardcover, paperback, audiobook, will require a separate ISBN. Okay, so note that in your circumstances that you will have to apply for a new ISBN per version. Okay, and so let's go on from there. You can read the rest. Can an ISBN be reused? It cannot. And so, in whose name is the ISBN issued? Should I get an ISBN? Okay. For a self-publishing author, what are the advantages of getting their own ISBN over a publisher assigned one? Okay. I am unsure about getting an ISBN. Are there any disadvantages of not getting one? So this right here is a very good resource and just researching in this type of way. Where can I get an ISBN, and do I need a barcode if I have an ISBN? How can I get a barcode? Okay. And then the summary. All right. So that's one of the things that you want to do. And so this is a part of what I'm sharing a lot with people who are in that journey, is that there's more to a book than just the writing part. And so there are other things that you can do, because sometimes people feel like, I don't know what to write, or I'm stuck at a certain point, or I'm working on a certain point. So while you're working, or maybe stuck, I don't like to really say that word, because it may not be the day that you need to write. The flow may not be there, that day, that moment, that week. So while it's not there, you can be working on other things, such as your online presence. And let's go over that. So the first thing I showed you was the YouTube channel. Yep. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, because it depends on the mission of your book. Okay, you can have an author page on Facebook. You can set up a public page on your Facebook. You want to set up author pages on certain websites, such as Amazon. You want to set up on Goodreads. There are particular pages, and that could be part of your research. What pages do authors set up? What are the primary pages that authors set themselves up, set a profile, create a profile, because people need to be able to go and see all of your work, okay? Or they need to be able to go and see that book. And so people may look for you in ways that are just quick and easy for them, especially when they're shopping for a book specifically. And so LinkedIn, you want to have a LinkedIn page. And one of the things that people may be concerned about is the upkeep of those pages. So when you go on that page and you look around, there are certain pages that you don't have to continuously go to. So say, for instance, you wrote one book and that's the only book you feel like you're going to write for a while now. The main thing is maybe say marketing it and getting it out that you actually have the book, but having that centralized page to where people can find you and even go to that book and click on it quickly, because people do not have time to, or do not take the time out to search for you 15, 20 minutes. They need to be able to come to you quickly. And so it's really good to have or be on the main pages, but also create a website really cheap. Like you can get a website like $5 a year. A year, I did say that. You can get a website for like $5 a year where you have your name and your pages listed, and your book, and where they can click and order it and go to the page and order it. So if you post it on Amazon, if you put it on Apple Books, whatever, wherever you put it at, put those links there. So online presence is very key as an author, and to get your book out, and to just have those marketing like store pages right there where people can access the information. All righty, so we got ISBN, we got the free resources through Destiny Shop. Let me click out of one of these pages. We have the YouTube channel. We talked about online presence. Let's go back into the presentation. All right, here we go. There were some things I wanted to skip. Okay, and I think there was one other thing. We deal with heart health as a mentorship shop. Looks like, let me see what we're doing here. Okay, now I remember. And so, because I wanted to keep this one pretty simple and just pretty overall, like the main points. So you can pause if there's anything you wanted to look at, or if you wanted to read, as I'm just kind of making sure I've gone over each page that needs to be gone over. The heart health, and this is one of the workshop presenters and facilitators. It's Laurel. And so we deal with these things. I'm telling you, because it is a journey. It is something that we don't take lightly, and we don't want others to feel or to take years in something that if they just had assistance. All right, so now we get into where I wanted to go. Okay, so now we're getting there. So I'm done with that. I want to go over the steps. Here we go. All righty. So let's see. Okay. 1 through 7. So this is a checklist page. We have 3 of them that we created, as you can see, at the first phase 1 writing workshop. And so this is a resource also that you can utilize. I'm going to double check and make sure it's also on PayHips. Maybe say as a separate, actually, I think it's called checklist. And so I'm going to definitely go on and confirm that. And that way, if you wanted to just have that checklist, you can have it. Hone in on your book idea. Decide what your genre is. We've touched on a little bit of this. We didn't talk about this one. Determine your audience. So it's very important to know your audience. You want to meditate and reflect on who it is your heart is speaking to through your book. Even as a part of your writing process, because as you're writing, you're going to be trying to make sure that what you're saying is understood. And that's more important than maybe say tripping over the grammar and the perfections of punctuation and things like that. It's more so about making sure that the message is clear. Okay. And so reflect on your publishing method or path. Decide on a word count. And these are some of the things that is a part of, Arthur's journey. If this is something that you don't want to get caught up in, then don't, because there is space for all types of books. So, but to know these things definitely it behooves you to know. So look at maybe say what the average word count is. What is the word count on smaller books? Because even when you're typing, whether you're using Word or whether you're using Google Docs or whether you're using something else, it should show you your word count. And so you want to know, because that impacts to the price of what people charge to read and to edit. So if you have 20,000 words, that's in a certain price bracket. If you have 10,000 words, so knowing that is necessary to know and to pay attention to your word count. Now this right here is also talking about an aspect of having, a finished work, or as part of your personal writing experience. So say, for instance, you were trying to finish this book, then you can use that as a way of determining when your end goal is, if that's possible. That may not be the direction or the directive or the approach, because you could be trying to accomplish certain chapters. You could be trying to accomplish certain points. I have 3 main points, and I'm going to spread this out over a book. So you need to have your point and your focus when it comes to the writing as well. Select a writing space. This is talking about a physical space. So where can you concentrate? Where is it quiet? Where can you focus? In your room, in your house, where is your space for writing? Research on some level. You got to have the research regarding genre, content, statistics. So this journey does include research. Okay, let's see. So it put up both pages at once. So we got 8 through 21. And so I'm going to leave this here. You can basically go over this by pausing it and taking a deeper look, because it's more than 10 steps too. And so I want you to make sure that you're only taking in the amount that you need. Don't go beyond, don't go too far with this process, but it's just be aware of the process in general. But then when you begin to start, you take one step at a time. Okay, what can I work on today? What can I brush on today? What can I look at today? Setting your goals for how much you're going to accomplish that week or what have you. You want to do this, but so that you can actually finish. Because if you don't, it can and will drag on for even up to years. Okay. And so when you start getting into some of the deeper parts of it, because what may be deep for one may not be deep for the other, such as marketing. You might be like, oh, okay, that is not. So one of the things about when you know something is not your cup of tea, it's not your thing, that's why you want to be aware of the journey, because that's where you need to be looking at how you're going to go about in your path, in your journey, getting the assistance you need. So if marketing, which a lot of that is online presence. A lot of the marketing is online presence. And then, of course, you need to know where to put your book, where to post your book as a book, a book within that library platform, that bookstore, sorry, that store. And a lot of stores are digital, they're online. And so, and not necessarily traditional, but you still have traditional. Barnes and Noble still has physical buildings, and so this really helps you regardless of where you are and what part of the journey, and just different pieces of the journey that also intertwine together. Like you don't start marketing when you finish the book, but then again, it depends. And so you have to be committed. If that's the case, you have to be committed to this writing process. If you're not going to start, if you're going to market while you're writing, so it means that you're not going to be, planning on this being a 2-year situation. But even if it is 2 years, to start setting up your pages is something you can do now at the beginning, wherever you're at. You don't have to wait. You can actually begin doing those things. And so one of the things I also want to add about the online presence is that that's also something that a writing coach, I believe, would probably be of assistance. I know I can be of assistance to you, because when you have a brand, you want to, and by brand, don't feel like, oh, here that brand talk is. Let me tell you something about brand, that some key things and how it may assist with you having a clear and concise path, and also so you can be found. You don't want to be all over the place where nobody can find you. Okay. And so that's why your online presence needs to be strategic. It can't be whatever. It has to be strategic. And so when you have an online presence, you want to put some thought into it, because some people have a pen name. Some people go by their name. What name are you going to go by? Make sure that you're looking at this futuristic as well. And so who are you today? Are you going to be that person tomorrow? Are you going to be that person next year? So you have to, this is not a thing where you are showing, I guess, we all evolve and we all flourish and we all thrive and we all unfold. I understand that. But you need to make sure you are stable in certain aspects, such as your name, because people need to be able to find you and your work. And so they need to be able to find you on social media. And so one of the things, it's kind of like, and I'll give you a good example. I know when I was younger, I had, when we started doing emails and stuff like that, a lot of times people would do emails according to things that's important to them. They would do emails, according to, maybe what was going on in their life at that time, or, who they were married to, and this and that and the other. No, this is professional. This is professional. This is executive. This is essential presence. Okay. And so that's what I wanted to share with you about brand. And so you want to make sure that your name and the name you use, even when it pertains to your websites, this and that and the other, you can look at and see how other people have done it, but it's something that you definitely want to be stable about. You want to be stable. Look, I'm sitting here on this same page, so you probably don't even have to. You probably just have to pause it because I'm talking about what I'm talking about. But you want to be stable with your name and the name of the book so that people can always find you. Oh, she just released another book. Well, we know her name. Go to her website name and it's there. You see what I'm saying? Instead of, okay, they going off of this name now, they're going off this title here and that title there. No. And one of the things I love even about the women that we had on, they just so happen to be women, the authors that we had on for phase 3, is that when you look at their social media, it was the same name. It was the same name. It was the same name. One of them went according to the ministry that she had. It was the same name, because you need to be consistent. You have to have some consistency out there so that we can find you. All righty. Where are we going next? Okay, so this is the last page. Okay. All righty. So just looking over this real quickly, because it looks like we are done. We wanted to keep this short, wanted to keep this something that you can have plenty to tackle, but yet have a clear vision of what to tackle. Oh, I do need to show you the order of a book. Getting your book edited, must. We cannot play with that one. All righty, and so let me pull up the page. This one, this is one you need to see. All righty, standard page order of the book. Let me see if I can. All right. So the book is divided up, and I love this because this is also what you can receive a free download on. I put it on the payhips.com, the Destiny Shops, payhips.com/Destiny Shops. As a free download. You can also Google this title and it'll pull it up for you too. It's on the website. It's on Google, on the internet, and this same page here. And so I love this because it goes over everything, the definition, and it describes it. It lets you know the order you can go in. It lets you know front matter, what's in the front or the pre-pages, the pages before you start chapter 1. It lets you know where the copyright page is. And so this is a very good resource to have. You want to probably print this out and have it in your binder. So as you're writing, these are some tasks that you can accomplish also while, or in those times where you maybe say not writing, you're working on other things. So this can be in the other things category. And so, all right. I believe that is all. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I wanted to show you. We do have, this is one of the downloads. I emailed her and I've got permission to share this. And very good resource page if you ever get the time to read it or just have it in your back files. Really, really, really good to have. And I'll just go over maybe one column. I was reading this, going over this earlier, because I remember one of our traditional publishers who came on and presented on phase 3, she spoke of hybrid publishing. And so I was so thankful that I already have what hybrid publishing, and it has the pros and cons. So Miss Jane Friedman put on here pros and cons, what to watch out for. She even put on here some entities not to work with if this is your situation. So this is really good to have the key book publishing pass. And this, as you note, the year 2021, 2022. So it's current. And so it's very important that we have current information as well. All right. And so here's assisted and hybrid right here in the green, the darker green. Yeah, really, really good advice. So you just want to sit down one day and just read through this, or take a column a day, take a column a week. Very good information just to start getting your mind and it helps you to start understanding what you're walking into, what's going on, and what's been going on, especially if that's something you need to know. And for those who are just, hey, I'm going to do this to where someone else is taking on the headache. Hey, it is definitely a personal choice. So, all right, well, this has been Writer's Checkup. I don't think I have my flyer here to put up. Let me see if I can find it. Writer's Checkup. Yes, I do. All righty. And so this is what you have been basically looking at. Yay. And so this has been exciting. So glad we finally have this, something to upload as a resource on the channel. And so I hope that your day goes well. I hope that your journey goes well. Make sure you reach out to us. Make sure you connect with us. We are on Facebook, as you see. Empowerment is on Facebook. Destiny Shop is on Facebook. I'm sorry, destinyshops.org is a website. And so that's our website. You can also follow and become a member there, so you can keep up with the workshops that not only that have gone on this year, but that we will add. We will be adding a couple more topics over the next year or two. And so that way you can register, you can always stay abreast who what our topics are, who is helping us with those topics, who will be presenting, authors who will come on. And so I'm excited about being a resource for you, education plus mentorship. And so you all have a blessed day.